Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. It's basic knowledge that any medical researcher with an ounce of sense ought to know.
Yep.
In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor. Okay.
Alright.
Is what you just said true, Inspector? Could pulling a knife from a wound really cause the wound to bleed a Hialvali?
Rivali's Gale is not ready.
Yes. Think of the weapon itself as a stopper in the wound that prevents excessive blood loss.
A stopper.
A stopper? Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed. Oh, I see.
This is why Yoko should stay from the far, or stay on the far. Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge.
You sure about that?
Surprised you had no fucking idea, considering your dad's, I don't know, a doctor.
True, right?
Anyone who's never given the little poke with a knife and pulled it out again? You know, anyone.
Yeah, you know, anyone.
Anyone who has haven't stabbed someone.
I've never stabbed anyone, you see, or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit, cousin.
Father, is it true what they're telling me?
Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of it.
Why'd you tell me sooner?
If you were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal in many ways.
Yeah, for once I would fail
More
her,
ways
actually.
than one.
But then, why would Ray have done it? Could she pull out the knife in full knowledge that it would be fatal for Miss Brett?
I don't know.
Can we ask her?
I don't know.
Ray never once mentioned anything about the knife to me. Seems almost impossible to believe, but... Could my friend actually have...
Susato. Oh,
yes?
Susato. Put yourself together. I have to whisper because this is... I cannot say your name. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here.
Ah!
Ow.
There's the noise again.
Yeah, it's RPG. It's on RPG.
Yeah.
God damn, I hate that. Okay.
Yeah, you just
Also, it's time for your cross-examination.
Let's just
Yeah,
ignore
it's
it.
just the
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Your Excellency.
However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issue with the established facts, I will be moving to my adjudication immediately afterwards. I don't know why that word is so difficult for me.
It wasn't in orange.
Exactly.
That's probably why.
No, it's like the clash between the D and the J there, probably.
Adjudication, or whatever.
Believing in your clients and fighting for the cause until the bitter end. I knew it would be hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard. That's what she said?
Giggity.
Giggity.
All right. Pulling is bad. You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. What if you do it with thinking?
Can you stop talking about pulling and doing without thinking is bad?
Does that mean that if you use due care and attention, it would be all right?
You see? Wear protection, everybody.
Yeah, you just apply pressure to the wound when you pull out the blade, right? I wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out really,
right.
but the blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it and serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade.
Oh, she probably removed to try and make...
Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it. Oh, well, thank you for such thorough explanation.
You see, Counsel? When you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
Or a haircut.
Back to the witness testimony, please.
That's basic knowledge. Although if you don't have an ounce of sense. In that case, there's an obvious explanation here. Which is? Clearly, the defendant, remember me, son, does not possess an onke of sensi.
Well, that's not a great look.
That's not the argument you think it is. No. What do you think about that, Professor Mikatoba?
I'm not sure you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sensei.
Sensei? Well, I thought it would be better than labeling you as a murderer.
I don't know, young people today. That's friendship. I don't understand it.
Careful, counsel. A lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing. So let me pull out my gavel on you.
Dear. That recoiled on me rather badly.
That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn.
Instead of that's a paddling, it's just that's a gaveling with this judge.
That's a gaveling.
Hopefully you can see now that this really is basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research, Mimami-san would have clearly been aware of it. You say so? In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Maybe there's a bad reason. But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground, bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently. I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally.
Well, why would a medical assistant would try to perform medicine to someone that is bleeding?
Oh, look at her pulling out the misogyny card. Oh, but irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it?
Pregnant.
Pregnant? Oh dear, you have to learn a lot about women. Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted ideas. Yeah, look at this feminist icon there. Oh dear, perhaps I'm letting my male persona take a hold a little too much. Yeah, don't take ouchie as an example, please. Well, have I managed to convey the basics now? That should convey the medical side of the argument. Let's not forget the right, so tell me about that motive. You know, the whole revenge thing, right? Whatever the motive, it just isn't in Mimami-san's nature to do something so awful.
Whatever the motive.
I don't care about your motive. But she had both motive and opportunity. That's very hard to argue against. But you don't know the defendant. Yeah.
And you, counsel, do not appear to know the law.
Nah. Gotta give it to him. Yes, evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings.
It is fledgling to defend her. I was almost say I pity the accused.
So do I.
Doctor, can you reiterate your point about the defendant's motive, please?
Yes. Miss Bird was in many ways the sworn enemy of Mimami-san. Okay.
Alright.
The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Was it?
Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Mimami-san's talent and offered her position of assistant, despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him. Yes, the Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual.
Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated traditions, like Japan, the whole of Japan. He met with opposition, of course, but he believed firmly in Mimami-san's abilities.
Clearly, the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point. Huh. This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere, because he doesn't make assertions, that's the problem. If Ray knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Susato. It's at times like this when it's especially important to remember the
fundamentals?
1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. Evidence is what calls it a courtroom, isn't it?
Of course. But I've been through the court record dozens of times already.
I mean, we have been like 4 times. I think perhaps you're forgetting something though. The wipe fit. You didn't take the evidence at face value. You can, and most examine in greater detail too.
Oh, we must examine it? Okay, cool.
In the end, do they wipe up or down? Counsel.
I realize this is your first time playing the role of lawyer. So if you need remanding of the rudiments, you need only ask. I'll do my very best to help.
Alright, let's talk about the examine the evidence in the court record. It's an idea, certainly. What should I do? know it. It's fine. We got this. Come to think of it, Cosmo-san and Naruto-san were always turning evidence over and over in their hands. Yes, I need to examine things in greater detail. Hey!
The
I
A
like to
button.
imagine the way that they do this is they literally just grab a pen and start like flipping it the hell out in their hands over and over.
Like solving a
Like a
Rubik's Cube. Just like...
Yeah, I was about to say like a
Exactly.
Rubik's Cube
Like a Rubik's Cube, but like they're doing it with just a pen. Or with like just
with a bloody
book,
knife, with a plate of steak.
or just a spoon. Just constantly like just flipping the fuck out of it.
just throwing the steak up and down like a pea.
fucking juggling it. Juggling like 2 pieces of evidence, just constantly flipping it.
By the look in your eyes, I see it's coming back to you. Go through the court record again and have a thorough look at everything. You may just find a clue.
Yes, I'll do it straight away. Speaking of which, pulling.
So zooming. Oh, there's.
Now I can look at
Oh,
it. Okay.
now you can see the arm.
Hey, look! It's the thing that the reporter has on his armband.
Hmm.
Yep.
There's some sort of emblem here. Look.
Oh, look at her
I
sprite.
love that. That looks amazing. But this isn't a Yuma
He looks
University
very
one,
handsome.
right? So gallant. I can understand right now.
You know what? I dig it. It must belong to some other organization, I suppose, a business office.
The newspaper.
But that would seem to imply that the pen doesn't in fact belong to Ray.
Haha.
The pen is not afraid.
Cool.
Can we open the pen? Okay.
Oh wait, yeah. Let me check if there's a.
There is an icon.
Well, I guess. If we take off the pen's lid. Oh,
Hey!
nice.
So it is the same blue. It is the reporter. I was right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I said
mean,
that.
yeah, of course,
I
but-
said that too, but the emblem is kind of a giveaway.
I know. This is,
Check it.
whoop.
Now let's unscrew the barrel, shall we?
Oh.
Oh, is there something in it?
Is it a knife? Is it a pen knife?
No, that's the ink
Oh.
cartridge. It's empty.
It's empty.
This must be a little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib. Did he put poison in the pen?
Ooh,
That would be interesting.
That's a possibility. Something wrong, Father?
It's just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all.
It's completely clean too. Oh yes,
Yeah.
you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose. Well, no, it couldn't. There's no ink on the. on the
Another
actual tip either.
update to it.
Nice. Small amount of liquid, okay, but not ink.
And then, yeah.
Do we see that? I wonder?
Also,
No.
no. And the poison that the curare or whatever, I think
Mhm.
it was curare,
Yep.
it was actually like clear liquid because it was in a bottle of sparkling water.
Mhm. The RM initials are very clearly engraved here.
Yeah, the fact that Miss Brad was clinging to the Spanish message too.
What's the name of the fucking reporter?
It's
It's Reporter Man.
Reporter Man.
Reporter man.
Reporter
Da-da-da.
Man.
Reporter man.
I don't think that can be any doubt that this is a key piece of evidence in this case.
All right. What? No update? Okay. Do we have it? Should I turn it some more?
Yeah, though, seems like we got all the updates on the
Nice.
weather update. The pen is not fully poisoned. Weather update. The pen has for the newspaper.
Is there more we can do here now?
Oh yes.
What's on the back? It's a newspaper from Soseki-san. Seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive! Deadly poison stolen
Oh.
from Yumi Medical Research Laboratory!
Jeez, I
Yumi's
wonder what
Medical
happened.
Research? Father, isn't that your lab? Your
This
security
feels
is
like
awfully
a
lax.
God.
This feels way more straightforward than the first case in the
Really,
other.
yeah.
game.
I like how he's like, wait, the fuck? When did this happen? No one told me this shit.
Didn't know? Why do I have to learn about
poison
this
has
from the
this-
newspaper?
It wouldn't tell me this shit. What the fuck?
This is
Poison
my
has
lab.
to
What the fuck?
stealing.
Stolen.
Come on,
Wait, was it just this? Was it just this fucking morning? Did I just like take a nap and it happened? What?
It's this morning's newspaper the association gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As Imperial says this for the head of the laboratory. I have not heard of any such thing. How on earth could the reporter have gleaned this information?
Oh, he's got his first-hand sources, I guess.
Ah. I mean, he might be the primary source, in fact.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly, yeah.
there's no better source than being the primary source yourself.
There was no article mentioning this story in the paper this morning, was there?
There was someone who I did it. It's a highly toxic poison we've been working on in the strictest confidence. I put Rai in charge of the project.
Ray? She was managing it?
If what's written here is true, it means that she tried to hide the theft from me. And moreover, the details were leaked somehow.
I don't believe it.
You need to read this article very carefully.
Okay.
The article about the poison has been entered in the court record.
I can't read it.
Okay.
I can't read it.
So, do we need to go and see the first one?
So,
Yeah,
oh, is this an ad? Is this an ad for the freaking beefsteak place? Ruckus
Oh,
England
God.
attorneys tell all. It's an interview with you and so. It's okay. It's just a. Ah man.
Kitty.
Dab.
Priorities. It looks as though it was quite an exchange.
Yes, he became a little more animated when he was talking about his time in.
Okay.
The photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me in the neck.
I do hope you weren't hurt.
So no mentions of the
right,
crack on the
right
photo.
For the jugular, no, it doesn't look like it.
Is it Ukaru ne?
Oh, sorry, what?
Yeah, Ukaru ne paru?
Uh,
I don't remember if it's ne the one right after the.
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
Ukaru ne
yeah, I think that's the dot. That's the dot.
Oh.
Da Kadu ne Baru. It is Le Carnival. It is actually the French restaurant.
Oh,
Da
right.
Kadu ne Baru. Yeah, it's Le Carnival.
Yeah.
It actually is because that's the emblem, right, from the from the plates.
Yeah. Yes.
That's why I was
It's
asking.
own business.
Da Kadu ne Baru. Yeah, it is. Is there anything on the? No, okay, like it was. Okay, so
I
cool.
imagine
Someone died.
the photo wouldn't be an evidence in itself.
Yep.
Guys, I think someone died.
No good reason.
Let's flip the body over.
In the photograph, yeah. Oh shit! No, I didn't mean to. Crap. Oops. Sorry.
It's hopeless.
It's hopeless. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to.
It's a mine.
I know what to do. I know what to do. No, I know. I was just trying to find the right statement. Okay. No good reason. Didn't have a motive. Okay. Question is, what to be presented where?
Hold on. Let's see. Let's see again from the start.
Yeah, sure.
Pulling a blade from one without thinking would cause heavy. Okay.
I guess there's nothing to contest there, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
That's also not contested.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think
We
there's
can
anything
put a
too
pin in
important
the
here.
second one.
I
Yeah,
guess.
I don't think the first two are.
In other words, there's no reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim.
I mean, I feel like there can be a reason. I just don't know what exactly.
Yeah,
No, the
there
thing is,
no
like,
good reason.
maybe she assumed the poison.
Maybe she didn't realize it was a knife. We haven't even seen if it's a knife yet. That's the thing. We just know that it's a stab wound. I don't really. Did it say it was a knife? I don't remember.
No, I don't think.
Yeah, like, does it actually say it was caused by single deep stab wound? But it doesn't say it was a knife. Anywhere. Like, it doesn't say it was anywhere. It might have not even been a fucking knife, and she just thought it was just a thing and took it out, or whatever, you know? Maybe it's because it was filled with poison, and she took it out because of that, you know? If it's filled with poison and she knows that it's filled with poison for some reason, then she would immediately pull it out, like, no matter what the consequences of the stab are.
True.
Like, because that would be way more dangerous to leave that sort of shit in, you know?
I feel like we need this statement, though.
Yeah, probably.
Is this gonna be a thing where she did actually stab her, but because she poisoned herself first, it technically wasn't a murder?
I don't think they would go that
Maybe
far.
it was an insulin shot for her diabetes. How do I use this? How do I use this? Stab!
Poison article. It feels relevant, but not now.
Mm. Man, I hate this.
I honestly can't think of much else. Yeah,
No,
there isn't much else besides the fact that the pen is weird.
Well,
The pen is just not mentioned in this cross-examination is the problem.
what is the description of the newspaper? The back part? Because there are two parts. An article of the poison that was stolen from a laboratory. There is. Can we actually reread the newspaper?
Sure.
The back part.
Yep.
See if change it.
Okay, that's nice.
More stuff.
Okay, following a lecture, a human was supposed to be announced on the 11th of August. It's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being secretly developed in the university's forensic science laboratory was stolen. Deadly tiny quantities, even the smallest amount entering the body, either via the mouth or a wound from a poisonous blade. Would okay, so we do present this. We do present this, yeah.
Yeah.
No good reason. There's the good reason. That's the good reason that you had. There we go. Current methods not detect the newly developed chemical. University would have consulted. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute rough pupils prior to death. There we go. That's exactly what we thought.
Which have been commissioned by the military. Ooh, that's a...
All right,
we
have our thing.
Vital weapons.
There's our good reason. There we go.
It seems like a good reason, actually, yeah.
There's a good reason.
So it might have been what I was thinking of, right?
Yeah.
Like the fact that if it's in there, it's not better than taking it out. Taking it out is actually less risky.
Exactly. Yeah. If the thing is poisoned. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound.
But then we're gonna say that the knife was not filled with poison. It was like, yeah, because it's the pen.
Yeah, it can't be detected too.
Probably.
Thing, right? It can't be
detected. What knife? What knife?
The Yoko not only has a poor grasp of the law, but also a poor loser.
Funny of you to say that.
Tell us then, what possibility do you think you've identified?
It's here, in this newspaper article. An article on a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory in the Imperial Yuma unit. Let me finish.
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case.
Dilation of pupils. Hello. Sorry, contradiction of pupils, not dilation.
Prosecutor Auchi, you will let the defense speak.
Thank you.
But a newspaper article, the court cannot rely on the kind of hearsay those prosecutions carry.
Counsel for the defense. I'm going to need some tangible basis for your claim. I'll indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned the firm's assertion. The tiny bit, I assume.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Page 2 then, yeah, okay.
Amount and the body, yeah.
Your Excellency!
Yes, of course. Thank you. They would never attempt something to further endanger Miss Brandt's life without just cause. The reason why the defendants pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says deadly in tiny quantities. I love these sensational headlines.
More on BuzzFeed. Top 10 deadly poisons. Number 8 was fairly surprising.
No. Which deadly poison are you? The interactive quiz. The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters the body on a knife lacquered with the poison, it is rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes.
By choosing your favorite muffins, which poison celebrity are you?
Wow. Are you suggesting? If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant memo he sent would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible.
From now on, I'm pronouncing poison as poisson.
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 Poisson. So I went to the store to get a poisson. So
I'm going to finish using that poisson.
You made me drop my poisson.
It was an attempt to stop the poisson from entering the victim's body. What?
This is complete another nonsense.
Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to salve her leafy. And the prosecution cannot deny the possibility.
Salve her leafy.
Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was sabotage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document.
Cannot be detected. Well, that's
Not scientifically possible.
That's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking. No. It very much affected her.
Oh, please. This is clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of wind.
What now?
Excuse me?
Spread out so far. Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe.
Do we want to ask the reporter?
We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable anyway.
I called the reporter.
It is very relevant that he's just keeping
The newspaper is not relevant. I want to talk about the newspaper writer.
Fake news.
Who is
Fake
the
news.
reporter?
In that
This
situation,
is all fake news.
please let me talk. I'm a very important witness, and I want to do this flawlessly. In that situation, what the students should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead, you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong raison for her suspicions then. Or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly. Well, but Inspector, on what grounds did she do it? Yoko?
I think it was sand because it was at the beach.
Yoko?
Why did I suspect the stolen poison was involved?
because the poison killer stole poison.
If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds. Here's the remains of my coffee from this morning. What?
You can't possibly.
No, actually, you can. You can put coffee grounds on like your plants and actually
From
use
your
personal
expression,
fertilizer.
Counsel, it would appear those are not empty words.
Oh, I assure you, my words are quite full.
But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands evidence.
It's pronounced evidanka.
Yes, Your Excellency. I'm well aware of that. Seen it many times. From my place at his site in the Old Bailey. Like 3 times.
In that case, counsel, you will present the proof to the court now. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poisson in the newspaper article?
The post-mortem report, which says that the pupils were constricted.
Yes. Or the pen. I think the pen would work too, right?
I feel that first we need to say that the pen had.
True.
we
That
haven't really
hasn't
said
been
it has
established yet,
poison
right? Yeah, that's true.
We have established, but the
The
newspaper
notes.
has said of the pupil.
The notes in the
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess the article would work too in that case because it says right there, and probably post-mortem report too.
No, but we need to link to the newspaper, so you wouldn't be able to.
Oh no,
use
you're
the
right. You're right.
newspaper.
Yeah. They actually say so. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's the report then.
yeah, the report and say, and then the notes.
Yep. I would ask the court to refer to the notes section of.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Which reads, extreme meiosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim.
Pupil.
Pupil?
Contriction.
Pupil.
Constrictin.
Pupil.
Pupil. Popeye.
Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea, so please do tell me. Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death.
Well,
Under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. There was extreme constriction instead. That's most certainly unusual, yes.
What are you doing, you Yoko? To tell you everybody's a Yoko.
I'm proving my point. Do you mind? In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death.
What?
If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of Miss Brad's eyes had constricted severely.
Yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without doubt.
It's just instinct.
It was a double dip. She was poisoned and then stabbed.
Prosecutor Archie, I think you'll agree. This is very compelling evidence.
This, you,
Yoko?
Yoko student and Yoko professor!
He learned the word Yoko in 9 months and now stopped using it.
He's like a little kid who just learned a new word.
I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
Yay.
Seems fair to me.
No.
Yes. Eugene Mikotoba.
Yes, Your Excellency?
I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense counsel's argument. You will tell the court the truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please. I know you have no fucking clue about it, but, tell us about the poison.
It's your poison, though, right?
That's cool.
It pains
That's
me
cool
to
as shit.
admit it.
Sounds cool as shit.
But I'm afraid... I know.
Oh, well, no, Ray was the one who headed the research on it, right?
Yeah.
Most likely.
Which makes her suspicious again.
Yeah.
You don't know.
The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but there was an error of anything.
Do you mean to tell the court that reports of this theft are unfounded?
No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Oh, don't leave me alone now.
Listen to the bumbling academic.
Bumbling academic.
Oh, I have the theft of secret state research from...
Wow.
I like how it cut out.
That was so
like
funny.
from his own. It's favorite.
Yeah, it cut from stage and then it cut back in when you said newspaper. That was hilarious.
Wait, he cut where?
It cut at state and then it cut back in at newspaper.
Yeah, I don't wear the theft of secret state. Newspaper. That's what it sounded like. It was really funny.
Oh, I want to hear that.
Oh, it was so fucking funny.
I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision.
Father.
A pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students rather than allowing them off on killing sprees.
I mean, to be fair, that has happened twice now, almost.
Presumably.
If I had a nickel for every time that has happened to me, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not much, but it's weird that it's happened twice now.
Exactly. Oh, hey.
Oh god, my voice is not ready for this.
None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault.
And this is why I have a glass of water.
It's all my fault.
No, you gotta understand, it's because I'm going from judge.
Yeah.
I'm going from Mikotoba to
Bobby-san, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated.
You gotta understand, I don't have a naturally low voice, Shar.
But it was me.
At least you have a slightly naturally low voice.
I was the one who noticed that the poisson we were developing had been stolen that day.
She just has that. She doesn't name the art.
What?
What's poisson?
So new.
I'd been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Suzuki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poisson was missing. Just a tiny amount it was.
She breaks all the rules. Why didn't you let me know immediately?
You had such a good time.
I was scared.
Oh.
The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out.
But how would you smuggle out a small dose of
Because I had
poison
a
like
very
that
good
from a
idea
lab
who the
unnoticed?
thief was.
Oh? The thief? You don't mean...
Yes, of course. It was that dainty English woman.
I don't think so, actually.
Yeah.
Miss Giselle Brett? I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. She's done it already.
Yeah, but so far
How'd
we
you-
all have suspicions on the written newspaper report.
Yeah.
That's also
Reporter
true.
man.
That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable.
Oh, if you look at the photograph, there is like a tiny
Yeah.
slit on the back as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was you who stole the poison! The poisson!
Well, no.
Just say RPG has made this voice for Miss Brett.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do it if I need to.
It's fine.
Only
It's
if
fine.
you-
It's just one line.
Voice
It's okay.
argument.
Only if she actually appears again.
Yeah.
She suddenly got to her feet and fucking died!
She she actually did just fucking die.
For falling to her knees in front of me and collapsing on the floor.
Yeah,
She
so what
fucking
Shar
died
said-
right in front of me.
So what Shar said.
She like
See that?
That is
she
a
pissed me
there?
off
tiny-
and then
Right
she
there?
just fucking died.
And look
See
at
that?
the stool she was sitting on.
Oh,
Is right.
I see.
Right when
Yep,
Shar said
that's
it,
a
I was
good
like,
point.
wait a minute. Yep.
Yep, that's a good point. Like a little hole in the wall.
Which also is why we don't have the murder.
Possibly.
How thin
Yeah.
would the murder weapon be?
Could it just
Oh.
be a needle?
Well, knife.
Oh,
That's
well.
when I saw the
No,
knife
it
in her
wasn't.
back.
Oh, it was a knife. Lame.
I couldn't understand what had just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear.
Why are we only learning about this now?
Just a Miss Brett
Pupils
was
of her eyes
seizing.
they shrunk to tiny pinpoints.
Sorry, they what?
Oh god, that must be scary to
They
see.
what? What? I don't understand.
I'm sorry, I mispronounced. They
Please go.
shrunk. They
There we
shrunk
go. Ah,
to
okay.
tiny pinpoints. They shrunk. Shrunk.
I don't believe it. Gosh darn.
In other words, you realized the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison.
As well for the stabbing on her back, but the poison.
My mind started racing, so I stabbed her again just to make sure. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips while I'd been with her. Despite, except for the wine she was holding, but, fuck it, right? Which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body. The wine bottle!
And the blade of the knife in her back.
Oh right, it wasn't curare because curare said it only needs to be from a wound. It can't be drunk safely. It wasn't curare.
It can't be ingested because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
It has to
be a new one.
Yeah, this one is a different price.
Well, no. Well, if you introduced it through a knife, it would enter the bloodstream that way.
Yeah, but
No, the reason the other guy
I'm
died is
just
because he had a
talking
tooth
because of
removed.
I was.
Well,
The
yeah,
guy
I
had
know,
a
I
tooth
know, I
removed,
know.
and that's why
I
he
know.
died.
I know that was
So, like,
that
in
was
this
one
case, he
too.
doesn't have that.
Yeah,
I
but
was
if you
just, like,
stab
concerned-
stab someone with a knife laced in poison, it would do the same. We would have the same effect.
Yeah,
of
I was just like trying to think of
Basically,
the wine
it
glass.
can't be in the
from
wine.
her
Oh,
hand and
okay. I
stuff.
know you're right. Yeah. Okay.
It basically means nothing.
Yeah, so it
Mhm.
just means it isn't curare if she drank or if
Yeah,
it
Basically,
depends
it's most
on-
likely a new weapon,
Yeah.
poison, because they
It-
said it could be
Again,
ingested
we
and
still
kill
don't
you.
know for sure if it was a knife. It might have been the fountain
Yeah, yeah.
pen, and she just thought it was a knife.
Yeah, I was about to say that like it depends on the twist that the case gives us in the
Yeah.
the near future.
And that train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade. Ugh.
Yes, if the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I hoped. Really,
Ow!
I'm so sorry for
Bashes
staying
head
silent
on me.
all this time.
Yeah,
Gashes
it would have
your
been
head.
nice if you had, I don't know, talked about this an hour ago or something. It would have been nice. See, and this is why it's
So many
important to hear the
times.
defendant sometimes.
Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you confessed in the end.
Wait, what?
Thank you, Your
Ow.
Excellency.
It's barely perceptible, but I do think the balance has shifted a little here in this courtroom now. It's about to shift back.
I don't like the balance! Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, remember me, son. If that's the case, perhaps you can explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed.
Well,
You have no answer because the simple truth is that you stabbed the victim motivated.
Well, how would she have stabbed her from the back if she was sitting with her back away from her? What? But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you?
Oh, I have evidence. And it's very much conclusive. The best evidence.
Oh,
I have the best evidence. Only the best.
do they have a knife now? It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. Oh, sure of it.
We will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Prosecutor Auchi.
Perhaps some praise is due young Yoko student.
What?
I hadn't.
Oh, is that a
I
picture from
wonder.
the...
I wonder who took that photo.
look at that
it's
very interesting crack there.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, that very,
Who was
very
camera?
particular crack.
Yeah, who was camera?
I had imagined
Who
that would
is
be
camera?
only for me to submit the evidence.
Huh.
But you brought this on yourself.
That is a knife, though.
It is
What
not.
the-
Oh, it is like a wakizashi or...
It's
Yeah.
straight up from the angle of the crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could a boy damage shot at this? The crew is in the air on the beach. Stop 'em.
I mean, it's literally, it could just as easily be her taking it out. What the fuck?
This
Mhm.
evidence
We
more
literally
than
just
any other
talked about
reveals the true extent of the accused murderer's nature.
Who was camera?
For it shows the precise moment. The moment that been by me son plunged the dagger into the victim. Bah!
Man, that must have been very incredibly inconvenient. She must have like fell asleep on the floor and everything in order to pull
Yeah.
that off.
Mm-hmm.
It is the very
that's not
precise
true.
moment. Who was camera?
I
Interesting.
don't believe it.
Counsel for the defense, was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced my courtroom?
Perhaps his voice has yet to break? These yokos are slow in mind and slow to mature.
Oh no, sudden puberty.
I'll show you slow to mature.
Careful now. Susato is starting to show her face here.
Was she gonna throw him?
It's often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and we have an ample proof. That is a new
Ah.
term that has become very popular lately because pictures
I don't
are very
think.
new,
I don't
and
think
they
we
haven't
think-
existed for very long.
I don't think we're thinking of the same words here, though.
Court will accept this blah 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 into evidence. I don't care.
Yes.
Mhm.
Photographic print taken at the moment the victim was attacked. Allegedly. Well, not that. My friend Ray can be seen kneeling. Okay, that's
Maybe.
yeah.
It
I can't
was
believe he had a
moments
photograph like that
before.
out of sleep the entire time. Wonder where he got it from. Such a stark image. I'm genuinely lost for words.
wait a minute. I don't understand. How did you... I mean, who took that photograph?
Yeah, who was camera?
Who took a
Who was-
photograph?
That does not matter because I say so.
That does not matter! Stop trying to divert attention!
No, but it
I
does
said
matter.
so.
Yeah, it does matter.
So says me, ouchie!
That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to the Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony. Yes.
Yep, that is a very good point. I will uphold the defense's demand. The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once.
It was
Do it
RM.
now. Or I will hit you with my gavel. That's a gavel.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
That's a gaveling.
Pardon?
Off to gavel.
You see, This print arrived at the Imperial Police below headquarters by express post yesterday. But there was nothing to indicate the sameness name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown.
Can we allow that into evidence then? Come on.
I mean, it's just anonymous tipping.
Yeah, that is usually that is allowed in an era where photographs are new and not like photoshopped and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Are we to understand then, Council, that in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph has the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believe it is fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court? Exactly my point.
When you first produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated. Because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, did you?
The silence you yokel student and blabbering professor.
Oh, he's upgraded from yokel professor to blabbering professor.
That matters is the blatant truth that this print so eloquently expresses.
What is that?
Throat.
What is
The
it,
blatant
though?
trout.
But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound. That looks more like pulling, to be honest.
That crack looks like someone drew something paint with a brush.
Exactly. Clearly, this isn't the moment the knife was plunged into the victim's back, but
That already was withdrawn? Don't waste this good time with your ramblings.
oh, but you're allowed
please,
to waste
how the
the
fuck
time.
do you stab someone while they're on the ground like that?
And you're allowed to ramble? Come on.
Indeed, without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim. I mean,
thank
it's
you.
not like to stab a person, they would need to be possibly standing or defending themselves or whatever, you know. Perhaps they wouldn't be like lying on the ground in the middle of the sand inside of a hut on the beach, you know, normally.
Also, very silent camera.
And the scene it captures is without doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe the conclusion is clear. I mean, it's really easy. Just point to the other newspaper, the other newspaper article.
Yeah.
Yep. So Sato, this is the time for you to fight.
So Sato takedown.
If what you established so far is true, then there can be no doubt. This photograph shows blade from the victim.
Yes, we just need to prove that somehow.
Just hoo. You'll have plenty of time to rue your defeat on the slow train back to the provinces. And rue the day you came up against Akatsuchi Ouchi on the court of law.
If I get to determine who took this photograph, then the trial is going to come to an end. There must be a clue somewhere. There must be some way of working out who took it.
Well, counsel.
I know it, Your Excellency. The burning question is who took that photograph, and the truth is, I have the answer. Fuck it, I guess.
Technically, you have the.
I mean,
technically, you have the answer.
Yeah. I think
You do technically have the answer.
You don't. This is a.
Yeah, it's one of those ace attorney gotchas because it doesn't say.
It is a weird way to phrase it.
Does it not say who made the article?
Yeah. If you say
it doesn't. It doesn't say. Oh, there is this particularity in the photo, right?
Yeah.
Because it is mentioned in the description.
Yeah. I just feel that this is one of those things because it could be like I don't know because it's the same guy that did this, or you could just say I have the answer, and then they would try to help to make you like say in the court record who is it.
I mean,
and
it's
then I think I have the answer is the safest.
Yeah, I'll just say I have the answer just because I mean.
Yeah,
I do.
Usually, you don't want to say otherwise.
Yeah, but like the conversation could still like it's one of those like branching paths that converge like at the end. Anyway, right?
The way the answers are phrased are very like misleading.
Yep.
Yeah.
It could be go either way.
Yeah. This isn't about whether I can or can't up with the answer now. I simply have to. The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal next time on Great Ace Attorney 2.
Well, this is the end of the episode.
What? No, you can't possibly.
I mean, we've been doing this for like 3 hours now.
So boldly claim you can please do enlighten us.
2.5 hours. Unfortunately, I'm unable to present the name. Yeah, because I don't know his name. Well, I
Utterly
do.
underwhelming. Did you really believe you could?
However, I am able to present evidence. The defense is a pièce of evidence that reveals the important details of the photographer's identity.
What? What?
Very well then, Counsel. Present your proof to the court. Or shut the fuck up.
The newspaper.
Yep.
And the
Yeah, they're gonna ask me to point it out.
Yeah.
Probably. Right?
yeah.
Could I?
What is that? Newspaper again.
Yes, the other side this time.
The receipty part.
Raucous England returnees tell all.
It's a freaking tabloid too. It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph. If you look at it closely, you'll notice that there are some white lilies on the right-hand side.
Ah, yes indeed. They have already caught my eye as it happens.
Ah, what of it? A shadow of some kind,
Yeah, you know, the white lines,
Yeah,
presumably from
You
the
know.
branches of a tree or the like.
right.
Typical white shadows.
These
Very
darn indoor trees.
there are no trees growing inside my laboratory. I can assure you.
Now, if you look closely at this photograph, they are the same.
Good gracious.
Oh my god!
That's a
Oh
woman.
goodness.
She's very cute!
They have the same
Yes.
tree. They have the
Exactly.
same exact tree.
The same pattern of lilies is present on this photograph too.
The same header of Lenny's.
Well,
Leans.
that
Leans.
tells us nothing.
That tells us a lot of things, actually.
Yes, it's a shadow of some kind. Definitely from the branches of a tree.
That look exactly like the branches in the other photograph.
Yeah, the white shadows of the tree, of the same tree.
There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach council.
What's quite remarkable about it is that the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired? Same exact tree.
Curious matching pattern that appears on both photographic prints is a result of a camera defect.
Some tree branches!
Some tree
Of
branches.
course, tree branches.
Ah!
Identical tree branch.
Exactly.
The photographer carries it everywhere with them.
Yes, exactly. It's set dressing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photographs.
With a photographic device?
Yes, we can confidently say that the camera's lens must be scratched. And that the scratch lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device.
In short, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera.
Okay. but there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this.
Not really.
Just look at who make the article.
Yeah. I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Hauchi, that one of the photographs featured in a newspaper article
Has the name of the photograph.
Newspaper.
That's right. The author of that article is the mystery witness to this crime.
What?
And he's conveniently here, present at the... Oh, there he is. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, I see why you were called a raucous England returnee.
What are you yelling about? That's you've already testified.
It is many memo. Oh, many memo?
That's the
Mini
RM.
memo.
That's the RM.
Yeah. Mini memo.
Suseki-san?
Mini memo.
What was that? No, you'll get the pun when you hear the.
Oh, is his name Aini? Is his name like Aini or something like that?
His name is Raiten Many Memo. He's writing many memo.
Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoyu News has been hounding me, following me on every move. A reporter by the name of just for the sake, Many Memo. Yes, hounding me from dawn till dusk.
Ah, now that he mentions it. Reporter man! Could that same reporter be?
It looks way too awesome to be a side character. A camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with you. I can't Many Memo.
So, you're saying that this picture was taken by...
My Memo. Yes, my lord. Your Excellency, Esquire. Sir. Samaku.
Officer! Find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. We will adjourn for a short recess in the meantime. Can we please also adjourn?
Yes,
As you say, Your Excellency.
And one more thing.
Oh, thank you.
Knife,
Hey, hi.
the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison.
Oh, but it's
That would be
undetectable though.
And also, it will be on the pen, not in the knife.
Probably.
We will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task. Understood?
Well, maybe he transferred it from the pen onto the knife before the stabbing.
Meh.
Very enthusiastic there.
Many Memo. Meh.
Meh. Meh.
Man, I find it so interesting how my voice just like slowly merges into the judge. Like soon it just becomes second nature. I'm just like,
Oh, yes.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Give me that steak knife, please. I would like to cut this this steak very thoroughly. It must be at a certain cooking point for me to enjoy it properly. Are you listening, Mr. Naruhodo?
What is this heart thing that I just bit on? Oh, is this a coin?
Mr. Naruhodo, what is this creature in this game of Tears of the Kingdom that you are referring to? Is this a Korok?
Me, Mr. Mikotomo, will say, this is what is called a Korok leaf. You have to complete a puzzle with the A or B buttons on your Nintendo Switch TM.
Oh, I see. How do I press this A button?
How do I press? How do I press a button?
I mean, you gotta
imagine
think about
that your finger is a
arrow.
gavel and the button is...
Imagine your finger is like.
Oh, yes. Smash.
It just smashes the fucking face.
I mean, when you think about it, there probably weren't many buttons existing in that time period, or button-like contraptions.
Probably
I
not.
mean, there are newspapers.
Maybe the cameras.
I don't. Is it the time of like industrial print? I think it is the time of industrial.
Yeah, but they used levers for that
Yeah.
back in the day. They used big levers for that. Oh, well, whatever. Joke still stands.
Yeah.
Doesn't know how to press a button.
Joke still stands. There are Nintendo Switches.
In 19 zeros.